Oh yeah, she's loud as fuck.
What's that?
That's loud as shit.
What is?
Our mics.
Oh, yeah.
And we're live once
Oh.
again. Yes, IRE 2023. We got caught off guard there a little bit, but my mic is loud as shit, which is good because I'm half deaf anyhow. I'm here with my good friend Eric O.
Eric O.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
We've decided that I think we're gonna start rebranding as Eric O. Just because everybody calls me that anyway.
Mhm.
But I've had people that are like, "Oh, that guy," but nobody can say my last name, so they don't even try to remember it. But you can remember Eric O.
I've actually worked on it.
Have you?
And
where'd you land?
Not very good.
No.
I'm not even going to embarrass myself. I thought I had it a couple of times. I said it in front of you. You're like, no, try again.
No, try again.
Yeah.
But I think we decided it's the accent.
It could
doesn't
be.
allow you to pronunciate it correctly.
So am I allowed to say it wrong?
Sure.
Okay.
You're
not
allowed to do
today.
whatever you can. You can do whatever you want.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I just don't want to offend you
or
embarrass myself.
Right. I actually had this conversation yesterday about being offended.
Mm-hmm.
I've never actually been offended.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's a thing.
Oh, really?
Because you choose.
That's true.
You choose to be offended.
That's true.
Right?
Choose to be.
I can be angry. I can be upset. You can hurt my feelings. But to truly be offended,
I'm offended.
I've never been fucking offended. Like, that's victim fucking mentality that I don't have time for.
In your whole fucking life.
I don't have time for it.
No.
But go on. Sorry. I just
okay.
decided to fucking take the show on offensiveness.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I don't really know if I have been either or not.
No.
But Eric, be authentic or get the fuck out.
Yes, sir.
Roofers in Recovery.
Yes, sir.
D&M Roofing and Siding. We're going to
Yes.
give that a plug because that's been the vehicle for you, whether
Sure.
you know it or not.
Yep.
To allow you to do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
And to give you the freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do. And we love the roofing and siding industry.
Correct.
Both grew up in it. Now I'm a first generation roofing contractor. You're a second generation
Yeah.
roofing.
There was nobody in between me and my grandpa. So yeah, it just went straight to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff. So we both love the roofing industry. At least I think you love it. And I've heard a couple of people say, "Oh, I can't stand it." But it's like, I love this thing. I mean, I couldn't go to work at Lowe's. I don't know what I would have done if the roofing industry wouldn't have found me. Right. And I really, truly believe that it has found me because not that it was calling. And I don't think anyone ever grows up to want to be a roofer. Like as a kid, I didn't say I want to grow up to be a roofer.
Everybody says that, but I actually did.
Well,
because of my grandpa.
that makes 100% sense.
Right.
You're the only person.
I'm like, yeah, Paul gives me shit all the time about it because he'll be in a room and be like, nobody grew up. And he's like, well, fucking Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did. Like, I always knew that that's what I was going to do. And I knew that it was what I wanted to do. What I had to figure out was how to not work so goddamn hard. Because, like, he worked, like, hard on roofs until he was into his 60s. And I was a teenager, and I'm like, all right, I like this, and I love being outside, and I love working, but, like, I know my body can't handle this shit for the rest of my life. So I have to figure out how to make it a business and not a job all the time. And I had no idea how to do that. I mean, it was a thing where I talk about a lot. Like, you just got to figure shit out.
Yeah, for
right.
Sure.
We didn't have universities and all the bullshit that we have today.
Exactly.
You didn't have Google, right? It was figure it the fuck out.
Or YouTube.
Right. Didn't have any of that shit.
No.
So it was a different world.
That's cool, man. And I'm sure you've learned that hard work ethic from your grandfather. And honestly, that was kind of like an old school mentality where you just worked like that until you were 60 something years old. And that's the thing that I think a lot of this nowadays, not us necessarily, but I think a lot of our industry has lost that work ethic. And everyone's all hell bent on this work harder, not smarter thing. And I think it's misinterpreted.
But you need to work hard first.
Yes.
You don't get to just jump to, I mean, I get, you can, like people do it, whatever. But I don't think that it gives you the ability to appreciate anything that you actually did.
Seriously. Yeah. For real. If it was given to us, we wouldn't respect it. I think, I mean, at least for me, anything that has been given to me and not worked for, I've lost pretty much. But if I busted my ass or paid for it or whatever, I tend to take care of it better.
Yep.
Like my truck. I love my truck. I've had it since 2018. It's the nicest truck I've ever had in my life.
Sure.
Right. And I wasn't that guy that bought myself a truck first. I made sure the company was taken care of.
Sure.
Jana and I were in a position where I was like, you know what, fuck it, man. I want a truck payment. Let's get a truck payment. So 2018, I went and bought myself a Ford F-250 Platinum. I was like, dude, this is like, whoa, don't smoke in this. And that lasted about 3 days. But I still have it today. I still, and no one believes me that it's a 2018. It's like the only thing I can tell them is I took care of it. Yeah, I take care of it.
Yeah, you appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when you work for it, and it's like when I go to the casino, and I'm not a big gambler. It's like once I lose $200, it's like I'm done.
Right.
It's like I've worked.
And you're rich. You could lose a lot more than $200.
I am rich with your friendship and my family. That's for damn sure.
And you got shit just falling out of your pockets, but I'm like 200. I'm max.
That's it. Because I'm a tightwad. Not really. It just depends on what it is.
Are you?
No.
Okay.
Do you think I am?
No. I was just curious, because everybody's got like a different mentality on that, right? And I know a lot of people have a lot of friends that that just they are, and they're willing to spend money on certain things, right? Whether it's their people or whatever. Where I grew up, like my grandpa had nothing, but he always spent it on everybody else. Right. And so I grew up that way to a detriment to myself, right? I would have a shitload more money if I didn't live that way. But like I've just always been that person just because how I was raised. But then I have very close friends that are just completely the opposite. And I know they're sitting on fucking, like they probably got piles like dug up in their backyard. You know what I mean? And that's just something that you and I never talked about. I was just curious, or if you're that fiscally.
No.
Usually us drunks aren't.
No.
Like we didn't know how to do that. So that's why I was curious.
So I think one of the character defects that I drug with me over into my sober life is that when I was the guy at the bar, I was like, line the bar up, line the bar. I was that guy, and I'm still kind of like that today. It's like I still have that want to take care of everybody mentality. And back then it was more of an ego thing.
For me, it was I wanted friends. Because I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. But if I bought everybody booze and I gave them my Coke.
Yeah, there you go.
They wanted to hang out.
You were the host with the most.
The most Coke.
That's right. That's right. And when it was all gone, they were all gone.
Correct.
Yes.
I know that was why you deal, so you could have a safe full of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that they'd never leave.
That's right.
Yeah.
I would take people hostage. Literally, I would create divorces.
Let's dig into that.
Yeah, I would create divorces, and wives and mothers hated me. Like I was that kid that like my friends weren't allowed to spend the night at my house. I would always have to spend the night at their house because we would just get in trouble.
I had buddies' wives that called me the devil.
Really?
Yes.
I believe that.
The devil.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I would honestly believe that. But I've always had like this, I don't know, like even I was alcoholic before I was even alcoholic.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had those tendencies. I had that, like, I just didn't give a shit. I had the insecurities. I had the fears, always searching for that quick instant gratification thing where I was trying to fill that God-shaped vacuum with all this shit that just wore off quickly. You know what I mean? And drinking, when I found drinking, which I grew up in a bar room, so I've drank for forever, right? So that was acceptable around my house, but drugs were not acceptable. Hence why a lot of people weren't allowed to stay at our house. Because literally I grew up above a bar and you could hear the jukebox or the band and stuff. And we'd sneak down the back steps and into the cold room. And
how old were you when you took your first drink?
Man, that's a good question. I would say at least 5 or 6 years old.
Okay. First time you got drunk. How old?
I would say probably 8 or 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I put my head through, my brother was a DJ and I put my head through one of his PV speakers, his woofers in his bedroom.
At 8 or 9?
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah.
What were you drinking?
Beer.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn.
I want to say it was Miller Lite.
Really?
Yeah.
So I was like 7th grade, I think it is. So what's that? Maybe 13, 12, 13, something like that.
13, yeah.
And I remember, so my grandpa used to buy beer like 12 cases at a time, and he'd stack it next to the fridge so that he'd never run out. So like if the fridge got low, he just another case out, put it in the fridge. Like there was never not beer in the fridge. So what I would do is I would steal like 3 a day because there were so many in there, right? Like who the fuck's gonna notice 3 gone, right? But I'd steal 3 every day all week. So that by the time that I got to the weekend, I had like a case, which is a lot for a 13, 14 year old,
a whole
right?
lot. Yeah.
But I'll never forget, I was like, he drank the shittiest beer. I think I was 15 or 16 years old. And at Christmas every year, he would let me, Christmas Eve, he'd have a big party and he'd always let me have a few beers with him on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And no matter how old I was. And I remember taking that. He drank Old Style Classic Gold.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember those ugly ass fucking cans.
Yeah.
But Old Style Classic Gold. And I remember I took a drink out of it and I looked at him But if this doesn't sum up my life, I don't know what does. But I looked at him and I said, Gramp, I go, you can't even sip this. And he stopped and he looked at me and he goes, son, beer ain't made for sipping. And I was like, fuck, life lesson learned.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah. Made for
and
chugging.
then I went to rehab 12 or 15 years later.
Right,
Yeah.
right. By living off of those words of wisdom.
Yes. Thanks, Gramp.
Yeah, no doubt. That little seed was planted.
Yeah. I'm not blaming Grandpa for my fucking alcoholism.
No.
Just great story that ties in.
Absolutely. You know, we grew up in a bar room, and it was like I said, drinking was acceptable. My dad drank, you know, I would say heavily back in those days. I'm sure he's calmed down a little bit, and God bless him. But my work ethic and those little seeds that were planted, most of them has come from my dad. That hard work, dedication, saying what you're going to do what you're going to say type of what does he call himself? He's a man of principle.
Man of principle.
Yeah. So old school. He was a man. He is a man of principle, and a lot of those principles, right, wrong, or indifferent. There's no book for parenting. There was no school. There was no thing. So did I agree with some of the things that he said or did back in it? Of course not. But a lot of them has made me who I am today.
For sure.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. Right. And he did the best that he knew how back then in the way that he was raised and so on and so forth. Things were a little harder and tougher.
Yeah.
You know, love was a little tougher back then in those days. But he had distilled that hard work ethic. And this was the other thing too. A lot of my friends did not want to spend the night on the weekends at our house because my dad worked. He built stuff. He was a carpenter. He was from a long line of carpenters.
Okay.
By trade, he's a mechanical engineer, put himself through school, very successful business person, very smart guy, smartest person that I know today, still today. Just, man,
Sounded like you were going to say piece of.
No.
Okay.
No.
You got to stop yourself.
Yes. No, he just a wonderful
Freudian slip.
Yeah. Wonderful person. And but we would work. We built a garage with an apartment above it. Cool. My mom's catering kitchen. We remodeled the bar, put a bar upstairs. I mean, that's what I did. That's how I learned how to be a carpenter. Now we didn't do the roofing or anything like that, but his dad was a carpenter. His brothers were carpenters. So I am from a long line of carpenters, right? So when I say I'm a first generation roofing contractor, that doesn't mean I didn't know how to read a tape measure or swing a hammer, because my dad taught me how to be a really good carpenter, like anything from furniture to cabinets, building framing, stuff like that. So God rest his soul. But he worked hard, and I want to say he played hard, but in a professional, discreet way. And I couldn't find that, I guess, discreet way where if I drank heavily, I was not making it to work the next day. But he was able to find that, you know, still make it to work, be very successful. He retired as vice president of Grove Worldwide. So he's very successful. Wrote OSHA's manual for aerial lifts. I mean, I don't talk about my dad enough, nor do I hang out with him enough to dig out those nuggets from him, because he's just a fountain, a hydrant of knowledge.
And is he still with us?
He is.
Okay.
He is. My mom isn't. This past February was 8 or 9 years for her. Another one. So talking about my parents. So there was the Ann Backer and the Bob Backer. And I've always gauged how I was going to treat someone. Like I Bob Backered their ass, or I Ann Backered this one. You know, so it's like I found if I could find that happy medium between the Bob Backer, because my dad is very stern, ironclad, and my mom was a little more subtle, right? So I found if I could be that Bob Backer and Backer, take both of their character traits and combine it, that I would be assertive enough, but caring, but subtle enough. You know what I mean? To not make too much rift, but convince you that it's a good idea to do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of, I think what you see today is a combination between my mom and my dad. God bless both of them, both very hardworking. Both came from nothing. We were originally from upstate New York, and there's nothing up there. Either you're a farmer or you work for the farm. Either you own a sawmill or a lumberjack, or you work for the sawmill, or you're a lumberjack. So that's really the only thing up there. Other back then, Ethan Allen furniture, a whole lot of bars, a whole lot of churches, farmers, milk,
whole lot
cheese.
of bars, whole lot of churches.
Yes. So They both came
one
from
to fuck you up and one to save you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. After a hard night of drinking.
Yeah.
I got to get to church on Sunday.
That'll fix it all.
Yes, it
will. Now I'm saved.
I'll be repented.
And then tomorrow I'm going back the fuck out and doing whatever I want.
That's right.
Then I'm going to run back in there on Sunday and I'm fucking cool.
That's right.
Sorry, I go on fucking religious rants.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, that was never thrown down our throat. My mom and I never went to church until I got sober.
Oh, really?
And I've only been to church really 3 times.
I got to ask you a question really quick.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm kind of going out in the weeds here.
That was the question I was going to ask you. What's it feel like to be able to actually talk on your own podcast with a guest? Because, I mean, the last couple, you didn't get to.
You know what? That's probably why you can't shut me the fuck up right now, because I've been like stuffing.
It's nice that people let you talk on your own show.
Thank you. Have I cut you off?
No, not at all.
Well, and I had 2 Red Bulls.
You had a couple of shows where I was like, fuck, is Ty even still there? I mean, goddamn.
It is
people
tough.
Just keep fucking yapping.
Well, what happens when that happens is like 15 minutes goes by. I'm like, fuck, I forgot all those questions.
Right.
I wanted to ask.
You zone out.
Yeah, I did.
I do the same thing. If somebody goes on a rant and I have to snap, and then I'll just stop them.
Yes.
You have to.
I know. That's probably, I need to get better at that.
Because if you're zoning out while you're sitting here, everybody else is zoning out.
Can you tell
too.
I'm zoning out? Have you noticed? Or
no, because you've been talking.
Oh, okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. But no, it is nice.
I just wanted to make it an appropriate joke.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy having you on because I feel very comfortable, first and foremost. And some of my best podcasts that we do is when I feel the most comfortable with that person that comes on. And I'm sure you can probably relate to that.
100%.
Yeah. So usually if someone comes on that I don't know a whole lot about them, I had that public adjuster and that insurance dude. On I didn't know either one of them, and I don't know anything about any of that shit. So that was, I don't want to say it was uncomfortable, but I learned a lot, and the questions were sincere questions because I don't know anything about it.
Right. I get that. We had one at RoofCon that we did that we refused to air. I think I told you about that, didn't I?
I think you did.
Yeah, we have one that we refused to air because he was such a garbage fucking guest. And I didn't in the moment tell him to get the fuck out like I should have. I was really trying to pull whatever
out of it.
But it was such an ego-driven interview that I was like, I am not going to give this guy a stage, right? I'm to the point where I'm not even gonna say his name because I don't want to give him a stage, right?
Yes.
But I think the point of that is when you're doing these things, I have to have a conversation with myself. I was actually talking to a couple people last night about this. About once a month, I have to sit down by myself and reflect on everything that I'm doing and making sure that I'm still doing it for the same reasons that I started it. And that's for all the other people. And that I'm not doing it for me and ego coming into it and people coming up and be like, you're so fucking great, whatever, right?
Yes.
Because that shit will fucking sneak up on you. And especially as alcoholics.
Yes.
That'll really sneak up on you and bite you in the ass, right?
For
Because
sure.
then you think you're invincible and you're a little bit bigger fucking deal than you really are,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so I get those opportunities to kind of step back and make sure that I'm still doing it for them. And it makes it nice when, to your point, when you're having that comfortable conversation, you can live in that zone.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It makes 100% sense. And that's what's so difficult about going live because whatever happens. If it's a shitty episode,
it's still there.
It's a shitty episode. If I said something dumb or I'm saying and I stopped focusing on that stuff, man. It's like I
still get caught up in my ums.
Do you?
It fucking drives me crazy when I to death.
Yeah. I just, you know what? I freaking just I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm over critiquing myself.
Here's why I'm not though, because I think of it like business too though. And I think that every single time I'm on camera, I need to get 1% better on that next one. And if I know that one of my weaknesses is my ums, so I've fixed a lot of my ums, right? So now here's my next one. When I'm listening to people, I say right all the goddamn time. And Lexi called me out on it. And I'm like, oh, I do that.
Damn it.
And I have to catch myself now. And so now I have to sit and listen, and I'll give a
Yes.
Because nobody wants to keep hearing right on the other side.
Right. Especially
maybe you do because you want to hear me agree with you, right? But the audience doesn't want to hear that.
For sure.
And the reason that we do all this
is
for the people that are watching and the people that are listening.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
I have no idea what my point was with that.
No, just it's the last shot of what being live. That's it. That's all, and us critiquing ourselves to make ourselves feel and look better on film and camera. Because let's face it, I started out there's one of many reasons why we started doing this, but back 3 years ago, back 3 years ago when we did this, I just saw a Benny Fisher nip.
Did you?
Yeah, he broke. Look, he's going to show you next.
Oh God,
we got that on film. Thanks, buddy.
I got a semi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So was stepping out of my comfort zone, and each time I do this, and this is the thing about me, I still don't 100% feel comfortable and arrogant and confident. I guess would be an arrogant, like, this is piece of cake.
Right.
Fortunately, I've been able to stay humble, and I don't know, not because of me, really. If it was up to me, I would have a head as big as this light up here, and that I'm bigger than my britches, and Dimitri and Eric and everybody wants to come on our podcast, and it's kind of like, and it's not an insecurity whatsoever, or else we wouldn't even be here.
Right.
It's like I continuously challenge myself to step outside my comfort zone, and I've gotten comfortable with, like, okay, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Go.
And that's where I guess that's where success lives.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Is outside that comfort zone. And that's why we continue to keep doing this. Plus the entertainment and the educational. And then if you have something that you want to plug, and it's like, we want to make this industry better than it was to where we found it. Just like we live the other principles. Like we practice these principles in all of our affairs. Yep. And this has just become our platform to get that message out there.
And I think that we've both taken it a step further to the point where it's not even the industry as much anymore that we want to make better. We legitimately want to make people better, whether they're in our industry or they're outside of our industry. Because I think that both of our reaches are starting to get there, to where there's people that are in different industries that are listening to what we're doing. And if we have to be cognizant of that, right? Because the purpose really is, I believe it for me, and I believe it for you too, is that we want to impact these other people. We want to impact them to become the better versions of themselves, to be the people that they were actually born to be. I say this all the time, but like, we were not born to be garbage fucking pieces of shit. No. We were not born to be, the asshole that makes people cry every night, wondering if they were going to, come home that night or whatever it is. We weren't meant to be those humans. We were meant to be good people that give back to our communities and give back to others and help those people. And I see both of our platforms as an opportunity to do that, right?
Absolutely.
Other people use their platforms solely for self-benefit, right?
I
get it. I understand it, right? I just don't agree with it, because I think that the more people that you do help and that you focus on others, you're going to get way more reward from that in the end anyway. But when you do only focus on yourself, eventually people will sniff that shit out, right? And they will leave.
Yes, for sure. I believe that. I truly believe that.
And I really hope that.
Yeah, right. And it'll catch up to you at some point in time. If your ulterior motive is just for selfish purposes, one, you're not going to be able to attract good people that will want to co-sign your shit. And that's what I always say, that, Vic co-signs my shit today. It's good. And we laugh because usually that's taken as a negative statement. But these types
What do you mean by co-sign my shit?
Like co-sign, hey, we're going to go to fucking IRE with the Behind the ToolBelt podcast. You want to come?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Fuck yeah. Let's go. That's what I mean. Okay. Like that. Yep. Most times when you would use that statement, it's usually a negative co-signing.
Right.
Doesn't usually mean something positive.
I just think about when I didn't have money and I needed somebody signing a loan for me to get a car.
There you go. There you go. No, as a sponsor would co-sign a sponsee's shit. Like, I'm not going to co-sign that shit.
Right.
Usually it's a negative statement, but we laugh about it because it's like, without him co-signing my shit, or Javi, or Ippy, or Glenn, or everybody, the entire company, if they wouldn't co-sign my shit, we probably wouldn't be here today.
For sure. Yeah.
And
you have to have people that believe in what you're doing and believe in your vision, right? And that just speaks to the culture that you've built, right, with the people around you, because they know that what you're doing is for the right reasons, and they want to be part of what's happening, right?
They do.
They want to be part of what you're moving forward, right?
Yes.
And I feel so blessed because I have the same type of people around me, right?
For sure.
And that's why it's fun, like when we all get together, like, we bring our people with us, right? It's not just me and you go fucking do something, right? It's like Lexi's coming, Matt's coming, Javi's coming. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we bring our people because we want to bring them on the ride with us. I don't want to fucking do it alone.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? There's days I still feel like I'm alone.
Of course.
Right? Yes. Like I know that we do. Like and we don't talk about that very much because you don't want people to know that.
Yes.
But like I definitely feel that, but at the same time, like who can I bring with me?
Yes.
Because that's what makes it fun is when you see the little spark in their eyes.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, oh fuck, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I get to be along for this ride.
Exactly.
Goddamn right you do.
Right. Everybody.
That's changing lives.
And honestly, let's think we couldn't have did it by ourselves anyhow.
No.
As much as we tried and as much as we think we can, we really can't. Whether it be the accountability or whether it be the support and them embracing me in doing this or trying, let's just as dumb as it is, I can't set this scaffolding up by myself. No. You know what I mean? And believe me, I tried.
Right.
Yeah, I really did.
You did.
I really did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But not more than that. It's I want them to enjoy these things.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I want them to live. My mission today, I swear to God, is to have every single person that at least works with me to have and live their greatest life that they have ever lived.
Right.
Right. And that's not always a monetary thing.
No, but to the monetary point, like nothing makes you happier than writing that big check.
It doesn't. No, like we talk about this all the time. Listen, through COVID, right? Okay. Through COVID, we had 3 people buy homes. I don't know how many vehicles they bought. They had that much confidence in me and themselves, their abilities more so, because if they didn't, they should have.
Yep.
Because honestly, it was because of them I felt embraced enough to keep pushing.
Right.
So I feed off of them too. Okay. So they're buying homes and shit. And we get through COVID. Now we had Jocelyn just had a baby. Okay. Sam just had a baby. She's on maternity leave right now. These people are coming and they're feeling secure enough, right? Like nothing makes my heart happy. It used to be like when someone rode in on a brand new Harley Davidson. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. And that fills my heart watching Colin come rolling in a brand new Dodge Caravan, the grocery getter.
Right.
Right. I don't know why he drove it to work that day. I don't know if you just want to show, but I'm like, dude, that's the shit it's making. Well, now they're buying homes with 2 cars in the garage, and inside that home, they're creating families.
Yep.
They're making people.
Yep.
Dude, did I ever think that this was going to happen? I mean, no, it didn't. But that type of impact, like that's OG shit. That's I hate the word fucking leadership or leader anymore. That's when you can sign a check and provide for somebody else and they can raise a family, that's fucking entrepreneurship.
And then the flip side of that though is the other side of the coin, where there's so many owners out there that cringe when they write that check because they think that's their money.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not.
And it's not. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't think about the fact of what you were just talking about and the lives that are being changed, and they're having the opportunity to have a family and things like that. Right.
Yes.
And that drives me crazy, you know, because they're like, oh, I could have had that 10%, or I could have had, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, man, like you couldn't have had it without these people that are on your journey with you.
Yes. Yeah.
That's important to me.
It is very important, man. And I'll tell you where this journey started for me. And I've talked about it a couple of times, and the people have already heard it. I don't really give a shit. But back in 2011, we put everybody as W-2 contractors or W-2s. We went away from 1099s, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know if we can afford this or not.
Right.
Workers' comp, unemployment, all that stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. If I got to lay somebody off, they're going to be okay. If they get hurt, they're going to be okay.
Right.
So I was like, man, how cool would it be if we could offer health insurance?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So we went on a mission. We got to figure it out. Went ahead, figured it out. And then I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Workers' comp, unemployment. Now, fortunately, I haven't had to ever lay anybody off because God just works for me sometimes when I can't. God does for me what I can't do for myself sometimes. I haven't had to be put in that position. Okay. So then we worked for 401k.
Yep.
Right. IRA, Roth, all that good shit like that. A year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago now, we did that. So going back to, okay, so now they're having families with the health insurance, with their salaries, with like all of these things. Like there was like Like God had put me on like this path to like impact people. And thank God that I wasn't even a selfish, self-centered prick. Now, don't get me wrong. I still then and still today suffer from shortcomings and character defects and need to be reeled back in at times. But like I was put on like this journey, right? And then when I look back, and I know that specifically, it was Obama's second term. Okay, it was 2011. Insurances changed and all that fucking horseshit, right? So it was like not that we were forced to have to go to W-2s, but it just made life simpler if we did that. But it was a gamble. It was like a gamble on myself, and it was a gamble on the team. Like, look, guys, I know this sucks. I'm gonna have to give you $2 more an hour, so you're actually still bringing home what you were bringing home, being paid cash.
Right.
So that was another, thing I had to throw in there with the overhead and all that stuff, and that was good stuff. Health insurance, years later, 401k, people were having babies, buying fucking houses, and it's like jeepers creepers. Who would have ever thought?
Jeepers creepers.
Yeah. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah.
Like seriously, a knucklehead like me. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know. Changing lives.
Yeah, changing lives, impacting lives. It's not even, none of this has anything to do with me. And by me giving it all away, and I swear to God, I'm just like you are. And it's not an egotistical thing. It's not an insecure thing. It's like I sincerely look at him and I look at his shoes. I look at his shoes like, and every now and then it's like I'll say to myself, man, he's wearing fucking $300 pair of shoes,
right? And
he works here.
I'd maybe fire him for wearing $300 shoes.
Yeah,
that's just me.
I think they're Yeezys or something. Zebras. What kind of shoes? What are they? Yeezys.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Shit, big time over here.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I'm just saying, it's like who would have thought that they're taken care of?
Yeah. No, 100%, man. That's why we're here, right? That's the purpose of why we're here, and we're here to help other humans. And if you're in the camp that's not why you're here, then you're on the wrong fucking path. I don't know how else to say it other than saying that you're on the wrong fucking path.
Yeah.
Like find a new road. You took a left when you should have took a right.
Seriously. And I don't know if that's the difference. Like you said, maybe I could have been more successful. Maybe I should have more money in the bank. But you know what? I feel like it's came back tenfold. For sure. Unintentionally. It wasn't like I did it for a selfish reason. Like take care of everybody and it's going to come back tenfold.
Right. No.
That was just what happens. Yeah, it's just what happens.
Absolutely.
And we're not even over yet. Like this is just the beginning for us, man. We want to open up new locations, and this is my next big goal. And I need the team's help. If Glenn wants to end up in Texas with his own TC backer down there, that's his thing. He knows what we got to do. If he wants to end up in South Carolina, he knows what we got to do. Lauren wants to end up in Florida. We know what we have to do. That's our next big thing.
Nice.
That's how we recruit our team.
Right.
Things like that. Now I know that sounds huge, but there's a lot of other little things before we get there that creates a good culture type of atmosphere. But when you set goals like that, like, look, guys, if you want to retire, you need to help me create an easily duplicatable process. So when we get there, you don't have to do a fucking thing.
Right.
Because everybody else.
Plug and play.
Yeah. That way it's a business in a box. Over the weekend, we pop up some billboards, we run some lead scout, direct mail ads. We got this process put in place where it's like we go there, we can do this. That's your baby. You've helped us build this empire.
Yep.
And that's what I want to see for him and his family. That's what I want to see for him and his family.
Yep.
That's what I want to see for him and his family. Everybody
is
that's what I want them. This is no longer about me. I'm fine.
Yep.
We could walk away right now.
Yep.
But I get out of bed every single morning and here I'm fucking taking the show hostage.
It's because you haven't got to be able to.
I'm sorry.
You've chose to bring guests on that fucking yammer the whole goddamn time and don't let you talk. So, I mean, I'm here to be helpful.
You are. So you tell me some shit. Tell us about Roofers and Recovery.
Roofers and Recovery is doing great, man. We got some big things ahead of us this year. On every show that I'm on coming up, we're pitching and making sure that everybody knows about National Roofers and Recovery Day, right?
June
2nd. So the first Friday, I think that's the first Friday of June. And we're trying to get 150 contractors across the country to sign up and donate the profit from a roof, right? If that math is too hard for you, let's call it 33%.
There you go.
Of the job, right? But donate the profit from a roof on that day, document it, We're still filming the documentary, so we want to be able to put that footage into the documentary. And if we do that, we can raise close to $750,000, and that can let us reach our goal of being able to send 50 people a year to treatment. Now, Paul and Kim went and bought a rehab facility in Southern Colorado in the Valley. So that's kind of the second arm now of Roofers in Recovery, and they're spearheading that side. And because of the fact that we're going to have access to that treatment facility, it's going to allow us to send 3 for every 1 person that we're able to send now because of the cost benefit. So that's a really big deal. It's going to give me an opportunity to refocus on the Roofers in Recovery side, just industry specific, and getting people that need help to go to rehab. And so our next thing, and I'll be having conversations with you about this, we're going to start bringing on ambassadors to the program, and within the, like, to help on the advisory board and everything, to be able to kind of not open up branches, but to have again, it's not locations, but like, I want people tied in the East Coast. I want people tied in the South. I want people tied in the Midwest, in different cities, so that all of a sudden there's 20 roofers in your backyard, and Ty is leading that group, and like maybe having a meeting a couple times a month, or you know what I mean? Like taking people out and like getting them more involved and helping, fundraise with those other people and whatever it is, so that we can grow this and make it become what we, well, I shouldn't say what we intended it to be, because when we started it, we thought we were going to send 1 person a year to treatment, right? But it's become such a bigger thing now than what it was, that there's so many people that need help. That means that we need help, right? And not just money. We need people that are stepping up, like yourself, that have helped out monetarily and with your time and with everything else, but to help those people in those communities as well. Because I mean, I'm in Houston, Paul's in Denver, Chris is in Dallas. Like, we need a reach everywhere, right? Because there's people that call us. Like when I called you and I had that person from New York, I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know anybody in New York. You know what I mean? Like, but if we have those little buckets filled everywhere, we'll be able to touch so many more humans.
And network.
Absolutely. So that's our next goal. And you and I will be having a conversation about that, because I really want you to be involved.
Okay. No, I love that. I love that. Now that I know that it's June 2nd, National Roofers in Recovery Day, because I remember last year, I believe, fell on the 15th. That was such a great thing. 3rd. And again, anyone else looking to build and create an awesome culture, that was another day that we got everybody. We closed the office down. We were all on the roof. We tore it off together. The women were there. Everybody. Everybody was there. So if you're looking for a good avenue to create an awesome culture, the National Roofers in Recovery Day is the day that you can shut down your shop, get everybody out of the office, and work for a good cause.
I use it inside of my company to allow my people on the doors to explain what we do. We call it the D&M difference, right? And one of it, the D&M difference, is service. We give back, and we give back to our industry and trying to help the people that work inside of our industry to make it better. And like, we make sure that we highlight in every piece of literature that we give to homeowners and policyholders, building owners, whoever it is, that we're not just going to put your roof on, that a certain percentage of everything that you pay us is going to help these people. So why would you want to work with Bill's Roofing, who doesn't do any of that? Right. And we explain, like, we might be a couple dollars higher, but it's because we're actually helping people. And even if you don't use us, then please vet those other 3 people that you're talking to and make sure that they're giving back somehow. Right. It doesn't have to be my cause, right? But make sure they're doing something to help other humans. Right. And so, like, we use it. Like, you should absolutely use it. If you're going to do that, set up monthly recurring, whatever it is. We donate a percentage of our profit of every job to go to Roofers in Recovery. Like, it's a big part of our culture as well.
It really is. I know it is for you guys, and this has become your passion for many years. That's where Jana and I first met you guys, at your booth, Roofers in Recovery booth, 4 or 5 years ago. And we were super excited to know that, that you guys were doing what you're doing, because we love roofing and we love recovery.
This fucking guy didn't even know we had a meeting on Tuesday nights. He said he can stay up till 9. I know you can't, because you got to go to bed by 7:30 and supper at 4. But fuck it. I said supper because Hunter's there. Nobody else has supper.
Yeah, it's dinner.
But like he can stay up till 9. He's young, right? Like he can come to that meeting. He doesn't have any goddamn excuses.
No, he doesn't.
Yep.
That's good. That'd be good for him too.
Yeah, I'm gonna chew his ass till he gets to the next one.
Do
so
it.
Next Tuesday, I'll be on your ass for it.
Do it.
Yep. So thank you for letting me bring that up.
Yeah,
and talking
no problem.
About that.
So last year, how much were you able to raise last year? Did you meet or reach or exceed your goal?
No, we did not. The problem we ran into last year is probably the organization of it.
Mm-hmm.
We probably had 70 roofers sign up.
Okay.
We probably only had 35 fulfill their commitment.
Okay.
Right. My job is not to call out those roofers.
Yeah.
But I will this next time. And so we're being very intentional this year about a lot of follow-up. Like it's a sales process almost, right? Like, so we have to follow up, make sure that they understand what day it is. They understand, oh, it's coming up next week. Do you got your roof? How much are you donating? Yes. So we're going to be a lot more organized with it this year. Kim's going to be helping in that regard, keep all that organized because that's not my genius, to be able to do that. So our goal is that if we get 150 to sign up, we have 149 that actually participate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
lesson learned.
I don't want it to be like when you were young and you'd throw a party and you'd invite 200 people hoping 75 showed up, right? Like I don't want it to be that. I want everybody that commits to really believe in what we're doing and want to be there to contribute that. Of course.
Yep. So with 35 contractors that came in, how much money was raised, if you don't mind sharing?
Let's just do some quick math. If we had 35-ish, we probably raised 150, 175.
Okay. And how many people were able to go to rehab because of that?
Let's call it probably 10.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, which is still amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it's still amazing.
Right.
But we just need to take it to another level this year.
And I think you can do that.
Yeah, we just need to take it to another level. Yeah. Do you need something, boss?
Yeah. What's up?
Do you need something?
Fix your mic?
What the fuck does that mean, fix my mic? Okay. All right.
I heard you just fine.
Yeah. What am I, an engineer? Fuck it. Fix my mic. Give me a screwdriver. All right. I don't even know what that means.
Right? Like fix my tie?
Yeah, right.
My zipper down?
Yeah. All right. What else you got?
Shit. Shooey. I don't know. Let's talk about what else are you be authentic, get the fuck out. Let's talk about that
we're filming right now. I'm actually got to head back here in a couple of minutes. We didn't get a booth here this year, but we've been filming at every conference. So we got some really good footage. We interviewed Josh Bigger last night and got the real Josh Bigger, not Best Damn Roofer. He called me. It's funny. He called me while I was still at home, and I was literally taking a shit when he called me, and I answered the phone. I just thought he'd enjoy that, and I was like, "Hey, Bigger, I'm taking a shit." And he's like, "Yes, you are. God damn it, let's talk." I'm like, "Okay." And he was like, "So who do you want to show up?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You want Josh to show up or BDR?" And I'm like, "Who do you think I want to show up?" I'm like, "I want Josh to show up because I want people to know who Josh is, right?" And so we had Josh on last night. That was awesome because he's like a real good dude, you know. We had Benny Fisher came on this morning. Jen Silver came on earlier this morning at 11. Chris Scoville's coming on tonight. I was supposed to have Greg Bloom, but he had to run back. His kid got sick. So we're going to have to do Greg another time. And hopefully maybe fill in a little bit. I got to head back to Houston tomorrow, but it's been such a rewarding thing to be able to do it because, you know, we do kind of the similar thing, but it's a little bit different. Like we record, we don't edit, or we edit, but we don't cut anything, right? We just clean it up and make it look nice and sound good. But the opportunity to be able to get to sit down and have real conversations with some people that other people on the outside looking in don't get opportunities to sit down and like learn who they really are and learn about some of the struggles that they went through, because all they see is the cool shit that they're doing online, right? They don't get to see the stuff that they had to go through to be able to get to where they are, right? Or just the human that they are and the things that they care about. And so one of the reasons that I started the show was that I wanted other people that don't have the access that I have to some of these people to be able to learn who a Josh Bigger is, who a Ty Backer is, who a, you know what I mean? Like who these humans really are. And it's given me, I get so fulfilled from it because we get to then sit down and have a 30 to 45 minute conversation where when you generally are walking these floors, what do? You walk up and you go, hey, good to see you. How's your kids? Great. All right, cool, man. See you next year.
Yes.
Right. And that's the end of it. And you don't actually get to learn anything about the person. And that has become just so rewarding being able to do that. And the feedback that we've gotten from it and people appreciating those conversations it's just been really, really rewarding. And one day I'll get some fucking sponsors so I don't have to pay for this fucking shit all myself. So one day that'll happen. But for the time being, like I will continue doing this until I'm broke, just because I really enjoy the process and the opportunity to talk to these people.
For sure, man. And you guys are doing a great job. You and Lexi are just phenomenal. And your style of hosting a show is definitely unique. It's entertaining. It's most definitely funny at times, and it's both. And like you said, you get to see the real side of these people, and you have access to these people that most people don't, because we see what we see on social media, and that's what we see, or the 10-minute blips or 10 second blips that we may run into somebody in these halls, but you really don't get to see that side of people, because most podcasts are about, hip, slick, and cool, and the fucking gold nuggets and this and that.
Or what are you promoting?
Yes, or what are you promoting, right? You don't really get to see that person, like the struggle that they really had to be where they're at today, and how they became the person that they are because of the struggles that they went through.
And people will tell me, like, they're like, I want to come on your show so I don't have to talk about roofing.
Becca Schweitzer said that to us a couple weeks ago. She's like, she said, what do you want to talk about? I said, I don't care. What do you want to talk about? She goes, I don't want to talk about what it is that I do.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. You're at the right show then.
Yeah, yeah. I've been trying to get her on. We just haven't crossed the same paths at the same place.
Yeah, we were very lucky to catch her.
Yeah. Where was that at?
Roofing Process.
Oh, yeah.
And Benny Fisher, he was a great one. I bet you had a good time.
Yeah, we had a good time.
You had a bunch of headliners. That was a good day for you today.
Yes. Yeah, today was a really good day. Yeah. And today's the only day other than last night, because like I said, I'm taking off tomorrow. So we had to jam pack a lot of shit in. Yes. Because I had the cancellation, that's what allowed me to come over here and say hi to everybody and give us the time. So I'm really glad that I got to be here.
Me too. I'm glad you had time waited around a little bit for me to get my shit together and go live.
I had to eat some bad lunch. Good. So that was fucking garbage. Yeah. So
don't get the gas station.
Don't get the gas station quesadilla and the fucking shitty bread sandwich. So
Right on, man.
PSA.
Right on.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do. Yes. Thank you for having me on again. Probably getting very tired of hearing the same shit from me, but I appreciate you having me on.
Hopefully you're not getting tired of the same shit you're hearing.
Dude, I'll be on every other fucking week if you want me.
Let's do it.
I'm here. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. That will conclude not our final episode for the day, but we have a big headliner at 4:00, actually 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a special guest coming on later tonight who was actually floating around here, but I'm not going to reveal his name because he has backed out on me for the past 2 years. Yeah. So I'm not going to reveal his name. Look like an asshole. Once again, thank you, Hunter Blue. But anyhow, you guys have a good day.
And remember, everybody, be authentic or get the fuck out.
Amen.
Thank you, brother. Love you. All right.